And we are back on Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld, and I am now joined by Michael Adams Jr., cornerback of the Arizona Cardinals. Mike, how's it going, man?
I'm great. Yourself?
I'm good. Let's start this interview. And you went to college at Louisiana Lafayette. What can you tell me about your experience there altogether?
Oh, man, it was great. It was a bit of a culture shock coming from Dallas, going out to Lafayette and dealing with those Cajun people. It was a culture shock. Good things about it, the women were great. Where I met my wife here running track out there with her. And then, the atmosphere, I feel like I made the team better when I got there because every year we did better than they did the years before. But, it was just altogether a great experience for me.
All right, and in 2007, you're coming into the NFL as an undrafted rookie free agent after finishing a 4-year, 140 tackles and 4 interception career at Louisiana Lafayette. You had offers from several NFL teams, including, of course, the Arizona Cardinals. Basically, what was it about the Cardinals that made you want to play for them over the other teams that offered you a deal?
Well, a lot of the teams that offered me a deal were teams that were in cold weather areas, and I'm not the greatest person to deal with 30-degree weather and stuff like in Chicago or like in New England or whatever. So the weather, attracted me to Arizona and the direction that I felt like they were headed in. My first year we went 8-8, and then we went to the Super Bowl the next year, and I couldn't have predicted that, but I felt like they had the team there, to try to do those things.
Right, and during your rookie year, you were signed and released a couple times. What was it like being signed, knowing you have a chance, then you get the news that you are being cut from the team?
The way the things works with the NFL, people think the practice squad is like, when it shows that you get signed and released so many times, but you really only get, you go into camp, they say they cut you, but they tell you in the office, you'll still be on the practice squad, you're still a part of the team, you're just not playing in the games, and then, they activate you, but they just have to document those transactions for the NFL. So, it was just like I was there the entire time because I never, missed a beat. I missed a few games, through the years, but you can just say it was like I redshirted when I went to college.
Right. And on November 21st, the Cardinals re-signed you to their practice squad, and just 3 days later, you were promoted to the active roster. In that season, you played 7 games. How was it to play your first NFL game, which was against the Cincinnati Bengals?
It was cool. I actually played nothing but special teams that game, and I actually got cracked back on. Forget who actually, I don't know if it was Keith Rivers or I forget who the player was that cracked back on me. And my man, Larry Fitzgerald, ran out on the field when I was laid out and said, "Welcome to the NFL, rookie." And it was just funny, that was just a funny thing to happen in your first game playing.
All right, and what was going through your head at that moment?
I was just like, man, because that really was the first time I had ever really been hit hard. And, high school and college, people take hits, but I was always playing defense. So, you're really not used to that. But when it happened, I was like, man, this is the NFL here.
And in your second season in the NFL, you guys finished 9-7, making the playoffs and even getting to the big game known as the Super Bowl. Can you tell me a bit about the journey you guys made to get to the Super Bowl?
Man, it was tough. At the beginning, I started back off on the practice squad again, so that was tough for me. Then I got elevated, to the active roster, and we were losing some games. Because I think we started off hot that year, and then we lost a bunch of games in a row. And so it was an up-and-down season, but once we got to the playoffs, it was like we knew exactly what would happen. We predicted certain teams beating certain teams so we could get home games, and we ended up getting those, and our offense was just playing, great. I think we had 3,000-yard receivers that year. Kurt was playing great. And our defense turned it on in the playoffs. I think we had like 11 turnovers in the playoffs or whatever. And that was just an amazing journey. And to, finish it off in the Super Bowl, I wish we could have won it. But, just to be able to play in it in my second year in the NFL, a lot of guys, can't say that.
Right, and of course, getting to the Super Bowl, you guys defeated the Falcons, Panthers, and the Eagles in the playoffs to make it to Super Bowl 43. During the Super Bowl, it was a close game throughout the whole game. And Mike, with under 4 minutes remaining in that game, Cardinals have the ball. It's 4th and 20, and you guys are down 20-14. You guys then punt the ball, and you go down the field and make a play and get the ball before it goes into the end zone for safety. Do you mind if I play this quick, maybe 10-second audio clip real quick?
That's cool.
All right.
Graham ready to punt from the 50. Meweldy Moore back at the 10. He needs to pin this one inside the 10. Graham, high kick, far side. Cards are under it. And Michael Adams kept it from going into the end zone. He downs it around the 2-yard.
And how was that moment for you, just making that big play? And first of all, how the heck did you get down the field so fast, I got to ask?
Oh, man, first of all, I was going against my fellow Raging Cajun, Ike Taylor. And he was tired from the defensive series. And he lined up, and, I take that special teams really serious and gave him a move. And, and I'm pretty fast, so I got down there and, just hoping that I was able to keep the ball from going in the end zone, because special teams plays are big in games like those. And, the fact that I did that, man, it kind of capped off a pretty good game that I had. I think I had 3 tackles, and then I downed that ball inside the 2-yard line. And in my head, I thought we had won the game right then, because I just didn't see them driving, 98 yards to beat us in the fourth quarter like that.
Right, and like you said, unfortunately, with the game all said and done, the Pittsburgh Steelers were the Super Bowl champions, defeating you guys 27-23 with a crazy ending as Santonio Holmes made that great touchdown catch. I got to ask you, Mike, what was the Arizona Cardinals locker room like after that game?
Man, it was silent, man. Because it was almost like we had came off of it high, like you was drinking a bunch of Red Bulls and you crashed later on that night. And we had poured our hearts out on the field and we came up short. But Coach Wisenhunt did a good job of just letting guys know that nobody's down on us, because we fought hard and we just came up a little short.
Right, and with that game all said and done, you wouldn't say you regret getting to that game losing than just not being there at all, right?
Nah, if I can make it to it and lose it 7-8 times, the journey going is good enough for me. Everybody wants to win it, but I would love to just make the playoffs every year.
Right.
The entire journey of being able to make it to the Super Bowl is just as good. I'm not going to say it's winning it, but it's a lot better than not making it at all.
All right, and let's fast forward a little bit to last season. Right before the season started, you underwent arthroscopic knee surgery. I know it's been almost a year. Yeah, almost a year, but how's the knee feeling?
It's feeling a lot better. Last year, going into the season with that knee injury, last year was just a tough season for me, because I started off dealing with that, and then I had a bunch of other things that were bothering me. So, it was just tough, but the knee is a lot better now, a lot stronger. And, now I feel like I have 2 bionic knees, because that's my second knee surgery, one on the left in college, and now this one on the right.
All right, and one of those other things that were bothering you, I got to imagine, was in Week 9 against the St. Louis Rams, with the game tied 13-13 with about 20 seconds remaining in the game. Well, fourth quarter, you blasted wide receiver Austin Pettis. Bad news is that you had to get carted off the field due to a shoulder/neck injury. Can you tell me a bit more about that injury, and what exactly was it that was hurt?
Well, I hurt my neck, but I told the trainers that they didn't have to cart me off. but they said they had to do that for precautionary measures. But I told them I was just a little tired, man. I needed a little nap. So that's what happened, man. When I hit them, my body told me I was a little tired, so I needed to take me a little nap. And I got me a little nap on that stretcher, and then I was ready to go right again the next week.
Yeah, you were back next week, and with the season all said and done, you guys finished 8-8, missing the playoffs. What do you feel were a few things that you guys definitely could have done better at to improve that record?
Earlier in the season, we could have played a lot better defense. We were filling that defense out. You know, we had the new coaches, and we didn't have the off season and stuff. So, you know, we were filling that defense out. And, I mean, I feel like now we're a lot better with that. We got a lot better towards the latter part of the season. I think our stats proved it, and, you know, where we were, you know, compared to other teams in the last, 8-9 games proved it. And, you know, we just had to come together as a team. I mean, I know a lot of teams would say, you know, the offseason hurt us, but I feel like it hurt us, you know, a lot more than a lot of teams because we had a bunch of moving parts. We had new coaches, new quarterback, you know, and a lot of stuff went wrong for us last season.
All right, and just this past April, the Arizona Cardinals selected wide receiver Michael Floyd out of Notre Dame with the 13th overall pick in the NFL draft. How do you feel about that pick?
I mean, I feel like it was a great pick. You know, I feel like almost every first rounder is going to be a good pick. You know, you have guys that end up being first round busts, but I mean, you know, with that position, with the first round picks, I mean, there's great risks and also great rewards. So you never know until you actually know. You know, if he goes out there and catches 4,000 yards, then it's going to be a great thing for the team. But if he goes out there and doesn't do what everybody plans on him doing, then he'd be considered a bust. But I mean, I feel like Mike's a good kid, and you know, he's coming along pretty well, and I feel like he's going to be real good for us.
Yeah, I actually really like that pick of Michael Floyd. He had a successful college career, and now bring him into Arizona, where he can now learn even more by arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, Larry Fitzgerald. I just think that's great, and of course with OTAs and minicamp already come and gone, Mike, how do you feel? You and as well as your team, how do you feel both you and your team performed in those practices?
Oh man, the team, first of all, I mean, the team was great. You know, we coming together. We got a lot of the same guys there right now. We're learning a lot. The defense, we know the defense now, and you know, we're just gelling really well. We got great competition at quarterback, and defensive back, and running back, offensive line, everything. Myself, I feel like this was actually arguably my best OTAs and minicamp of my career. I'm looking forward to doing big things and looking forward to carrying that momentum into training camp, and you know, just doing whatever I can do to help my team and better my career.
Hey, that's great to hear, man. And just a few more questions, and then we'll chat a bit about your foundation, Mike Adams Conquerors Foundation. And these questions are a bit more out there, but it's all right, though. Mike, if you could meet anyone, who would it be and why?
Man, it would be, my wife's going to get mad at me, but it would be Taraji P. Henson. For some reason, I don't know. I mean, she's not the greatest looking woman in the world, but I feel like she's such a homely looking celebrity, and I would just love to just meet her and talk to her and just pick her brain and just see, you know, if she acts and talks like she does on all the movies that I watch her in.
All right. And in terms of football, who do you look up to, growing up?
Growing up, man, guy named Rod Jones, man. He was kind of like a father figure to me. Man, he's an older guy. Played with SMU when, I want to say probably around 81, when SMU got in trouble for paying the players and everything. Mm-hmm. He ended up getting drafted, I want to say, by the Cincinnati Bengals, number 11 pick. His name is Rod Jones. He played cornerback. Also ran track at SMU. I want to say he ran a 44 in the open 400. Amazing athlete, and he's actually my trainer now, and just a big time mentor to me. And you know, that's the guy that I looked up the most to as a young child.
All right, and growing up, who was your favorite NFL team and why?
I mean, Dallas Cowboys. I'm from Dallas. When I was growing up, they were winning all the Super Bowls. I mean, you almost had no choice to be a Dallas Cowboys fan or either a Dallas or a San Francisco 49ers fan around that time. And, I mean, I was, you know, a hometown guy. You know, you had Aikman, Doug Johnson, and Irvin, and, you know, everybody on the offense made it to the Pro Bowl. You know, and then you had, you know, Dion for some time, and Darren Woodson, and Kenny Gant. You know, you had all kind of guys on those teams that were just great players, you know, that all players that go down in history because they won about, 5 Super Bowls with them?
Yeah, and outside of football, what is your favorite sport?
Swimming. Swimming is my favorite sport because it was the first sport that I ever played. I wasn't big enough when everybody started football in Texas at 7 years old, playing Pop Warner. I wasn't big enough yet, so in the summertime I really had nothing to do. A coach named Coach Summers pulled me to the side at Daniel Park and asked me if I wanted to learn how to swim. And he taught me how to swim, and you know, I just took that and ran with it. I swam in high school, and I was pretty good then. And you know, still to this day, I always like to catch all the swim meets, and even in the off season when I'm working out, I try to get me a bunch of days where I go in and just swim laps.
Hey, we gonna see you in the 2012 Summer Olympics?
Man, I would hope so. I'm really have to get a lot of work in.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, why do you make it so important to connect with your fans?
Oh man, because that's pretty much, you know, the people that are gonna keep your name going. You know, a lot of guys, you know, they stay in touch with their fans because that's a way for them to continue to make money. But really, for me, it's just a way for people just to know who you are. You know what I mean? It feels good, you know, when you're in Phoenix or when you're in Dallas and somebody, you know, comes to you and say, oh, yeah, you know, I know you're Mike Adams or Arizona Cardinals or whatever, you know, and to know that you're doing good things in the community and everything. So that's why I try to stay connected with my fans.
Nice. And what is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? It used to be The Notebook, but I feel like I want to change it now because I just recently watched The Vow, and you know, it almost made me cry the other night. I'm really not a big crier, so I was surprised at that.
All right, and last but not least, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food? I want to say fried chicken, but I know I'll get in trouble for that because I'm not supposed to be eating that, but fried chicken really is, you know, I just can't stop eating that, man. I think I might eat that 3 times a week.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Fried chicken, it's good, man. All right, Mike. Now, you have your own foundation called Mike Adams Conquerors Foundation. Can you tell us a bit about this foundation?
Well, it developed from with my trainer. I train, and a lot of guys should always be out there, you know, and they'll work out and they'll say, "Oh man, you're killing me," and he would always respond to people, and he'd say, "No, guns kill, knives kill. I'm bringing you life." And it was always people coming out there, and they had a survivor's mentality. But you know, I'm real big in the word, and you know, God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, and He doesn't call us to be survivors. He calls for us to be conquerors. So when I train kids, when I talk to kids, I always talk to them about conquering everything. Conquer every workout, conquer every aspect of life, rather than just surviving it. Because if you just survive life, then you don't know what you actually get out of it. You know, if you conquer it, you're going to get exactly what you wanted out of that situation. And that's why I just took the name. And then, you know, I just wanted to reach out to as many youth as I could. I wanted to try to help bring as many mentors around them that they can look up to for, you know, various reasons. You know, if you don't have a father at home, almost any kid that I get involved with and talk to know that they can call me for anything if they need to talk to me. I'm always willing to train kids, help kids, and I'm never charging for anything. You will never see me do a camp where I charge a kid to do anything, because that's just not the way I work, and that's just not the way I feel like God has blessed me. I played 5 years in the NFL as a 5'7" corner, and as a free agent from a small college. And I feel like God blessed me to be able to do that, and I want to be able back to and as many youth that I feel like are going through the things that I went through when I grew up.
Right, and I live in Chicago, and I have listeners all over the U.S. Is there any way we can help out the foundation?
We'll have plenty of events coming up. My website will eventually be up soon. I'll make sure I contact you about that. And all the events, I'm going to have, raffle tickets being sold. Any way that people can sponsor us, donate money, donate whatever you feel like you can, to help kids. Because I do, turkey drives, giving away toys for Christmas, and also, giving out school supplies, to random schools throughout the year and stuff like that. So we'll have events coming up, and I'll contact you about that, and I'll contact, random listeners I know around the world, and we'll be able to work different things out.
Hey, sounds good. And a little over a month ago, you guys held a 7-on-7 tournament in Texas where local high schools competed to win $5,000 for their football program. And in attendance was you and a lot of your NFL buddies. Tell us about how the tournament went.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank all my guys that came out, man. I think I had about 16, NFL guys, and nice. I feel like that shows a lot about how God is working with me and how He is working with other guys to be able to come out and help, out with a camp like that, because, it's rare. It's kind of hard to get a bunch of NFL guys in one setting like that. And so that went well. And the camp overall went well. I had countless people telling me that it ran well and that everything about it was first class. We gave out some things to a bunch of the athletes. We did raffle tickets. We made some good money on our raffles. And I want to thank guys that gave me autographed jerseys. Fitz gave me an autographed jersey, DeMarcus Ware, a bunch of guys, man. And everything went well. John Tyler ended up, coming in and winning the money, and I kind of was mad about that because I was rooting for, the Dallas school, and they let this out of town team come in and, and win. But John Tyler was a first class team, and they played their hearts out, and they deserved everything they got, and it went really well. And John Tyler and West Mesquite gave us a heck of a game, for the championship game, and it was just a great event, and I had a bunch of people come out and help me out, and man, I can't wait to do it again next year, and can't wait to, try to move this to different places.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. It definitely sounded like a great event. And Mike, is there anything else we should know about Mike Adams Conquerors?
Well, we're working with Elite IMG with the marketing firm, and in the near future we're going to have many things that we're doing to give back to the community. So just be on the lookout for the Mike Adams Conquerors Foundation website, and once that's up, we'll have a bunch of things going on that people can help with. Come out and volunteer, and they can follow me on Twitter at MeasyBaby27, and also follow the Mike Adams Conquerors Foundation at MAC, which is Mike Adams, and then Conquerors, and that's it. And everything else, hopefully, guys really hear about this, and I'm just glad to be able to pass my blessings on to different people.
Yeah, Mike, if there's anything I could do to help your foundation, please just let me know. I'm willing to do it. Of course, I'll give you shout-outs all the time here on my show. I must say it was a true honor to have you on the show. I really appreciate your time. And before I go, is there anything else you'd like to plug on the air for our listeners?
Oh, no, sir. I'm good now.
All right, hey Mike, thanks for your time, and I wish you the best of luck this season and, of course, later on in your career.
All right, thanks, Chris.